Good evening. I would like to call this board meeting to order. Roll call. Please note that all board members are present except for Mr. Castro, who was called out unexpectedly. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comments. If you wish to address the board during the public comment section of the meeting, please put your name, address, and subject on an index card and give to Deb Hayes in the back before the start of the meeting. Individual public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Item 2.1, administer the oath of office to newly elected school board members, has been postponed and will be done at a later date. Item 3.1, exemplary governance award presentation, Dr. Hendricks.
Thank you, Madam President. It's my pleasure to well, it's not my pleasure, but the Indiana School Board Association's pleasure to recognize the School Town Munster's board as a commendable board for the 2019-2020 year. It recognizes Mrs. Higginson, Mr. Stovic, Mr. Castro, Dr. Schwartz-Wolf, and Mr. Doherty. And this would be the recognition board. Very nice. We will display that in our central office and hopefully our boardroom when we get it completed. And also, each of you, well,
Not each
of you, I'm sorry, let me say this. 3 of you do have received pins this time. Mrs. Higginson gets an exemplary pin, and Mr. Doherty, you get an advanced, and Mr. Castro will get an advanced pin as well.
Thank you very much.
We'll make sure he gets that.
Congratulations. Those awards are based on how much basically continuing education and classes we go to, so that does say a lot about our dedicated board of how much education and how much time we put into this at the Indiana School Board Association classes. So congratulations all. I am proud to serve with you. Consent agenda, Mr. Trippenfeldis.
Dr. Schwartz-Wolf, the consent agenda contains items 4.1 through and including 4.4. Starting with item 4.1, approval of the minutes from the November 16, 2020 regular school board meeting, which is available online through board docs and viewable right now as I'm showing that. Item 4.2, the approval of the accounts payable voucher register as presented. Item 4.3, the approval of the personnel report as presented, which is viewable again on the screen with the recommendations for employment, resignations, leaves, and termination that is listed on that form.
Would the board like any of these items be broken down individually? Mr. Trippenfeldis, can I get a recommendation?
Yes, the administration recommends that the board approve with 1 motion and 1 vote consent agenda items 4.1 through 4.4 as presented.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Action item 5.1, donations. Can I get a motion to approve donations as presented?
So moved.
Second. Thank you. And any discussion?
There are 2 sets. First is one from the American Institutes of Research in the amount of $50 to the school district. And then the second is a list from Munster High School. Several donations that they received in the last month. You'll see John Susan Doherty to the football team. Best Buddies from Top Tier Nutrition on Main, and from the Armor Restoration Services. A large donation to Project X from the Lee Family Brand. Bowling Club had a couple donations from Hassey Family and Patriot Sport Apparel. The boys swimming and girls swimming, Margraf and Taylor made a donation. And then the Bob and Melody Grand donation for the Makerspace Incubator of $5,000 to the high school. So very generous enough.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Action item 5.2, fundraisers. Can I get a motion to approve fundraisers as presented?
So moved.
Second.
And discussion?
And these fundraisers are obviously presented with the projected start dates, end dates, and obviously these all are assuming that in some normal fashion we can operate. So you'll see numerous things from the high school for that, from the dance team to the stand club, which has a lot of those. If you see the stand club, most of those are all done little things, and then the football team.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Action item 5.3, resolution number 816, resolution to close the 2020 accounting year. Can I get a motion to approve this resolution number 816?
So moved.
And discussion, Mr. Melby?
Resolution to close 2020 accounting year. This is just a procedural item that we do every year. I'm sure you remember from past years to close out our books. The administration recommends that the board approve resolution 816.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Action item 5.4, resolution number 817. Can I get a motion to approve resolution 817 to transfer to rainy day fund as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Melby?
Yes, resolution to transfer money to rainy day. We have learned from the past, and board members have said in the past couple of months, it's very important to build our rainy day fund. We need to be prepared for things like a drop in ADM, leveling in state funding, or even a decrease in state funding. Things like this past year showed us we should be prepared in case we don't get our tax draws on time, as well as unknowns like pandemics that we're going through now. So the administration recommends that the board approves resolution 817.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Action item 5.5, policy revisions. Can I get a motion to approve the policy revisions as presented?
So moved.
Second.
And discussions?
As you're aware, at last month's meeting, we went through a lengthy process with these, and I was not here, so Dr. Hendricks did a wonderful job of presenting those
Yes,
in
wonderful.
a much more succinct manner than I usually do. Kudos to him. The only thing that was on that we had some reference to was possibly some minor changes to 2266, and we didn't make any of those. So everything is here as presented from the November meeting.
Any other questions or discussions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Action item 5.6. Can I get a motion to approve certified staff stipends not included with the teacher appreciation grant as presented?
So moved.
Second.
And discussion?
As we've done in last year, the teacher appreciation grant is specifically designed for certain individuals, and it's very specific to teaching the classroom. Last year we did this, and several schools will do this. We wanted to provide an equal stipend to our other licensed teaching personnel, if you want to call it, they have teaching licenses in the schools, and you'll see that it's the building principals and assistant principals, so the building level administration, along with two of our exceptional needs administrators who work in the buildings, and our school psychologists. So as we said last year we did this, these will be equal to the tag grants that the teachers received at our last meeting.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Action item 5.7, the amendment to superintendent's contract. Can I get a motion to approve the amendment to the superintendent's contract as presented?
So moved.
Second.
And any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, any items that may be properly come before the board? Anyone? No. Number 7, general information and discussion items? No. Director of Financial Operations Report, Mr. Melby.
All right, if we could start in the education fund, you'll see that we increased our cash balance slightly in the month of November. You'll notice that our basic grant did go down. I mentioned that last month. It did go down slightly, and you'll see that again in December. Underneath the basic grant, we did just have our state reimbursement just came in for summer school, so you'll see that in the revenue side over there. As far as the expenditures, you will see that we raised the transfer over to another fund, like we said we would, to make sure we still stayed under the 85-15% rule, so it will be under 15%. And the $58,000, the payment to the co-op, that's something you only see a couple times a year. Again, that is the Career Center Co-op. In the operations fund, last month we did talk about us asking for an early draw, and you'll see that in November. So you saw the early draw came in, and you will see the number that was transferred over from the education fund as well. One thing that I do want to bring notice to is utilities. You're going to see a blank, and you never see a blank in utilities. With some of our expenditures that I know are going to happen in December, and with our reduction of appropriations that we made, we just want to make sure that we're going to make it, make sure we make that number. So we did pay for those utilities out of the referendum fund. So you'll see that come out of there. That should be it for that. In the referendum fund, again, you will see the early tax draw that came in November. And then the last thing is you will see under miscellaneous, you will see the utilities were paid from the referendum fund. In our other funds, you will see the early tax draw in November.
Thank you, Mr. Melby. Any questions for Mr. Melby? Thank you. Assistant Superintendent reports. Mr. Trippenfeldus?
I just have one or two things. I apologize while I'm getting back to our homepage here on this so I can kind of scroll through. I wanted to just share really two things, and they're both kind of thank yous and kudos. I wanted to pass along a kudos to our business department, especially our payroll and accounts payable individuals. If you recall, our last payroll, we did the regular payroll, we did the stipend that you guys approved, and we did the teacher appreciation grant stipends. It's technically three independent individual payrolls that have to be processed, and the stipend that we did as a school district required individualized amounts for different people based upon the hours they worked, and because we wanted to make sure we did that equally. So I just wanted to give a kudos to Vicki Swing, who did a tremendous job getting that all done within the time frame, as well as still processing everything when we talk about the family-friendly Coronavirus Recovery Act and trying to process through who can teach from home, who can work from home, who's on quarantine, who's on isolation, and all those things. And as you know, those federal programs require lots and lots of paperwork to document. So I just wanted to give them kudos. They did a great job of getting that done. And I want to thank Mr. Mel because I know that Linda Zaborowski and Sherry Breitenbach assisted a lot with Vicki in the last week, and they deserve that. That's a tough thing to do that much in one week. The other thing I did want to give a thank you to is I wanted to mention one last time, the Teacher of Merit program that was funded by the Teacher of Merit Committee through the Munster Education Foundation actually gave out one final check to the teachers this month, much smaller than the normal ones, but they had money left over, and they were true to their mission that every dime, every penny would go to teachers. So a small award was given to all the teachers who qualified in August. So I do believe through that 5-year process, I just wanted to say thank you to Mary York and John Friend, who did work tirelessly behind the scenes to do all that. I also wanted to thank People's Bank. The Bucknowski family was tremendously wonderful. They wrote all of those checks, which are around 200 every year, no fees, all donated at the time. Some of their administrators were assisting with a lot of different things. Never once did they ever say no. So I just wanted to say thank you to them. And I did want to give the biggest thank you probably to, as we all know, Joe Mansueto, who made that initial seed gift of that $1 million over the 5 years that allowed our teachers to receive extra compensation. And I do believe the minimum they received each year was $1,200, and the maximum, I think, was a little over $1,600. So if you think about that over 5 years, that's a tremendous amount of help that I think Mr. Mansueto and then Mary and John provided to us. So I just wanted to say thank you and make sure you guys realize that that program is now ended because the funds are done, but it was a tremendous help in a time when we weren't able to provide a lot in raises. So I wanted to acknowledge that and just say thank you to those individuals. So that's really it at this time.
Thank you for mentioning those behind-the-scenes people that don't often get the credit, although obviously do Herculean things for us. And I appreciate knowing that because we're not involved with the day-to-day. So thank you for mentioning them, and we appreciate that. Dr. Stokes.
I also wanted to dig some things out before I share some information that Steve will pull up on the screen for us in just a moment. I wanted to thank our teachers and, of course, all our support staff and, quite frankly, principals and people in the building who help with keeping the buildings clean. And I do have to give a special shout out to parents at home who are helping our at-home learners. Our teachers went through great strides to make sure that they were able to utilize the Teams platform to support our in-person and at-home learners. And I know it's been a lift for some of our teachers and some of our parents, quite frankly, but they've done a wonderful job, and we made it through almost to the holiday season. So I did just want to give kudos to our families for all that they've done to support our students. And then I wanted to also share, if you look at the board here, information about a partnership we are trying to reach out and make a connection with, and that's with the Great Lakes Equity Center. But it's actually with what's called the Midwest and Plains MAP, as we refer to it, the Equity Assistance Center, which is part of the Great Lakes Equity Center. And essentially, we are trying to partnership with this organization because, as you know, we have an advisory group called Supporting Minority Students, which will be providing some information to our strategic planning team around support specifically for minority students. And essentially what the Midwest and Plains Equity Assistance Center is, it's a center that will help us look at our data with a more focused lens on equity in our programs, in our supports, in our hiring, in all aspects of running the school organization. So we are going to partner with them, and I just wanted to highlight three things. If you go to the next page, three things that the Equity Center really is known for, and they call them tiers. Of course, tier one is educational equity research and resources. If you were to go to their website, they have a plethora of information about schools and equity in schools and how do we bring that about and things that we can look at to provide access and opportunity for students. And then there's like their tier two, which is the networks, where they have various corporations and companies that you can network with to come in and provide professional development and to provide all types of resources to make sure that we are meeting the needs of all of our students. And then one of the tiers is the third tier, which is their partnership, where they come in and do a memorandum of understanding, and they partner with us to assist us, not to take over, but to assist us and guide us in asking some of those strategic and courageous questions about how we provide supports for our students. So it is our goal to partnership with the Midwest and Plains Equity Center, and I just wanted to draw this to your attention and say, take a look at the website and see what they have to offer. Thank you.
Dr. Stokes, are there other schools in the area using this as a reference as well?
There are. I do know that one of the schools there's a school out in Bloomington that Monroe is using this. And then I think Carmel was looking at it. Don't quote me on that. But I was talking to some colleagues because they're in similar situations. They had similar activity like what we had this summer. So they're also looking at ways to support their students. Okay. So there are various organizations that are using this.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Director of Exceptional Achievers Report, Mrs. Svikovich is not here this evening, but Mrs. Higgison will be reading. Oh, no, that would be Mr. Stojic will be reading that report.
This is from Joe Svitkovich. Nicolette Lesniak was named the Project Success Teacher of the Month for her dedication to creating inclusive opportunities for her students. She is an educator who has high expectations and presumes competence in her students. Nicolette is leading the charge in her classroom and school to help change the mindset and set the stage for inclusive practices throughout the district and state. Project Success is a state-led initiative setting higher expectations for students in intense interventions classrooms.
Thank you, Mr. Stojic. I will be reading from the elementary schools. The elementary schools are wrapping up the semester with the NWEA assessments, end of the semester tests, and a few holiday parties. We are 6 feet apart and trying to keep everyone healthy while blessed with exceptional December weather that gets us all outside. We are currently working on our in-person learners plan to return to school in January. At Elliott, Student Council started and we will begin our One Book initiative again in January. At Frank Hammond, we are celebrating holiday cultures with sharing our differences. From Diwali to Hanukkah to Christmas to Kwanzaa, our first, second, and fourth grades are taking virtual trips around the world to learn more about different cultures. At Eads, the fourth grade celebrated Indiana Day by visiting Benjamin Harris's home virtually instead of their annual bus trip to Indy. We hope to take the fourth and fifth graders back to Indianapolis in the fall. Eads will be ending the year this week with the theme of The Grinch That Stole 2020. He can have it. Students, I added that, they didn't write that. Students will learn about kindness and participate in kindness activities all week. Food service will end the week, serving up the Grinch lunch for students on Friday. Wilbur Wright, Mrs. Higgison.
Wilbur Wright We the People team, all three, competed virtually in the state competition on December 9th, 2020 and December 10th, 2020, and we are anxiously awaiting results. We got a pretty good jump on NWEA testing of both in-person and at-home students. We have a few students left to test next week before winter break, but this round of NWEA went smoother than the fall testing. Wilbur Wright sports are back competing since returning to school. Boys basketball and wrestling is going strong and finding chances to compete with some area schools, although most of the games and contests have been limited and adjusted. It's great for our kids to get the opportunity to do some normal kid things.
Thank you, Mrs. Higgison. And from the high school, we have Mr. Doherty reporting.
All right. On behalf of Mr. Wells, thank you to all Munster High School families for supporting the teachers and staff during the first semester of the 2021 school year. In the 18 years I have been at Munster High School, your support for Munster High School has never been more evident as it was this past semester. Tomorrow we'll start final exams and we'll continue through Friday. Our teachers are being extremely creative and are using authentic assessments such as projects, essays, video recordings, etc. as they issue final exams this week. Currently, we are in the midst of the annual Mustang Toy Roundup. This toy drive has been led by Coach Marsh for over 35 years. This year we have more than 500 families that will be touched by the Toy Roundup. I look forward to giving you a full report at the January board meeting. This past week, there was a ceremony in the incubator classroom with Munster Rotary. Next year, our incubator program will be ready to go, and many thanks to Munster Rotary for donating $3,500 to get the program off the ground. Finally, happy holidays to all Mustang families. I hope everyone has a restful holiday season, and we look forward to seeing all students again walking the halls of MHS in 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Doherty. Item 10.1, individual public comments. There are none. Board reports. Mr. Stojic.
I have nothing to add in regards to the park board. However, I know the Booster Club is having a big fundraiser, and they're reaching out to individuals for funding. And I think it's very important to indicate that the Booster Club, they just don't do the athletics, but they do other clubs and activities that our students take advantage of. And they're very generous in their funding, so under these conditions, I hope everyone can find a few dollars to donate to the Booster Club.
Thank you, Mr. Stojic. Mrs. Higgison.
I would just like to say thank you to our teachers, staff, students, and families. I know it's been, especially this last month, has been a really long haul, and there are people that are taking on additional responsibilities and covering things that they wouldn't normally cover, and parents adjusting work schedules, and teachers teaching from places that they haven't taught before because they can't be in the classroom. And I just really kudos to the whole community for coming together and for giving it everything. I know it's been a lot, and we're almost to the finish line. Friday's going to be here, and then we'll get hopefully a two-week respite here. But just, I can't say thank you enough, because it's everything to the students to be able to learn and at home and at school, and to see your support and feel your support on a daily basis. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Doherty?
I attended the Munster Education Foundation's virtual meeting this week. I'm sorry, last week, and just wanted to mention the Munster Education Foundation's Holiday Lights contest. I encourage you to go to the Munster Education Foundation's Facebook page, and you can learn more about that and participate, and please vote early and often. And Melissa Higgison is one of the houses that's in the contest. And Melissa, I did a tour last night with my wife, and your house looked beautiful. Kudos to you and your family. Thank you for participating. Nancy Hamblin, who is a longtime member of the Munster Education Foundation, was voted onto the board of the Indiana Association of Public Education Foundations this month. So congratulations to Nancy, and thank you to her for all her years of service to the school town of Munster. The Education Foundation is also doing one more fundraiser before the school year is out. It's their major fundraiser, virtual jeans and jerseys this year. It will be on February 5th, and look to hear more from the Education Foundation about that in the next month. And finally, I would like to add that I represented Rotary at that incubator inaugural last week. Very proud to represent the Munster Rotary Club, which has been a big supporter of Munster schools for many years. And happy holidays to all, and thank you. I echo Mrs. Higison's comments about our faculty, staff, and administrators. Thanks for all you've done this semester. It's been spectacular. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Doherty. I attended the president's meeting virtually, and we thought it was going to be a short meeting, and then we had one person join us late. Now, Adam, I love you. I think you're great. It was a great conversation, and it was fun to have the interaction. It kind of took a different twist than usual, but it was an in-depth conversation. So thank you for all those people that could attend that. I also attended the Strategic Planning Committee virtually, and that was interesting, a new twist from Dr. Stokes. Instead of having us all in our individual committees, she combined us. So like my communication group worked with Mr. Melby's financial group, and we could see how those things tied together and give a little different insight to a different committee. So that was a really interesting twist, and I thought very productive for the team members. So thank you. And then I also would like to say thank you to everybody, and also how impressed I am with the creativity of everyone. The way students are learning and still being able to do group projects, the way teachers are innovating and coming up with new ways to teach and train, our administration, the parents, MEF coming up with these fundraisers where people are just decorating houses and they're making money on that. I am just so impressed with the creativity and the let's get it done mantra, which I agree with. So thank you all. Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President, and I just want to say thank you for your leadership as president and chair of the board.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed working with you and look forward to the next person in line.
Me too. I am also looking forward to the next person in line.
Just want to mention, I actually had an opportunity to go out. I was invited out to Mrs. Dahlman's classroom to work on my elf decorating, elf on the shelf decorating, an ornament with Jesse, and I believe it was Jesse and Liam and Kevin and Andrew. And it was a lot of fun working with the kids and talking to them, and we just had a great time decorating our little elves. So I went home on that Friday and put it up on my tree and took a picture and sent it back to them, so they were excited to see that my elf made it up on my Christmas tree. So that was great. I also, too, want to thank the teachers and administration and staff and support staff, the custodians, and the, as you can tell, all the hard workers in central office as we've been giving out stipends and pay raises and continuing to clean buildings and continuing to change back and forth with kids moving in and out from the in-person to the at-home, and the teachers are having to adjust to those situations. And, you know, they've been doing an outstanding job. And whether it's an exceptional needs program or it's high ability or it's just the weeks. And as we come back from the holidays, I'm hoping that our staff will be healthy enough that we can continue on and have kids back in person. We'll send something out this week, again notifying our parents that probably that teacher records day will be the day we'll be reviewing our staffing to see exactly how healthy we are. But I would say that parents need to be prepared in case we do have to go to an at-home learning scenario. And you probably won't get any of that information until that Monday we come back. They'll be at home, but we'll have teachers there, and we'll have an idea of how many are returning for that week. So we'll be continuing to monitor that, and I wish I could give you more upfront, this is when it's going to be, but we just don't know with this pandemic and how it spreads quickly, and with people being together over the holidays. All I can say is we'll do the best we can to, get a decision out as quickly as possible if we have to on that Monday. But I just want to let everybody know that. So I just want to bring that up. And finally, I just want to say I hope that everybody has a happy holiday and a very happy and a hopeful 2021 New Year. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hendricks. 13.1 announcements. Our next board meeting will be January 11th, 2021. Not sure where yet, but we'll be at 7 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you and happy holidays.